Well, it's once again that time that we go out to the other coast of the United States of America and we check in with Michael Snyder to see what's happening in the movies. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Alex, and hello, Trick or Treat America and all the ships at sea and beyond, because it is the weekend before Halloween, and we have a few appropriate movies to cover considering the season. Let's start off with Johnny English Strikes Again, a James Bond trolling spy spoof that stars UK comic actor Rowan Atkinson, best known in many circles as the bumbling, near-silent comic creation Mr. Bean. But more to my taste was Atkinson's run as the nasty, sharp-tongued, and often bedeviled Edmund Blackadder from the brilliant Blackadder sitcom, which followed the fall of an aristocratic family line through British history, with Atkinson playing different incarnations of the character from century to century.
All right.
Enough
IMDb. Just give us the movie.
No, man, there's a reason I bring this up.
You don't have to bring up his whole history.
It's important that we bring this up because Blackadder is well written and well directed, and that is a problem with these Johnny English movies. It's all about context.
No. You just want to show how smart you are. Go ahead.
Just
don't bore us with that.
Don't
bore us with that IMDb shit.
It's hardly IMDb. These are the two most famous of his characters, and then you get to Johnny English.
You got to say whether the movie's any good or not.
That's the point. After you get past Atkinson's undeniable gift for like silly physical humor and kind of that smirk to sneer smugness, it's all about the writing, the setting, and the direction. Those are things that he's done so well with in terms of Blackadder and so poorly with Johnny English and the Johnny English Strikes Again movie, which is the third in a series of films about the inept secret agent. And, let's keep it English here. This is weak tea. As in one of the recent James Bond movies, this one begins with a computer hacker unearthing the identities of all of Her Majesty's secret agents. So the Prime Minister, played here with kind of droll exasperation by Emma Thompson, she has to call back the only available agent, the old school but incompetent Johnny English, who was fired for his ineptitude a while ago, but he doesn't have a digital record to out him to the cyber terrorists who are trying to take over the world. So you get slapstick gags aplenty, beaten into submission by Atkinson and Ben Miller, who plays his right-hand man. The actual former Bond girl Olga Kurylenko is appropriately sexy and mysterious here as a Ruski kind of quasi-Bond girl named Ophelia Bulletova, and Jake Lacey makes for a smarmy mix of Steve Jobs and Mark Cuban as a Silicon Valley zillionaire, an all too familiar trope who may figure in this. Familiarity here breeds disinterest. In a post-Austin Powers world, we don't have much need for another parody of 007, least of all 3 installments that are occasionally amusing, but never as over-the-top funny as the Powers movies. And in fact, if you want to see a truly funny secret agent parody, rent Spy, Melissa McCarthy's most hilarious and well-executed comedy, where a great script and a great director give her something worthy of her talents, and Atkinson not so lucky here. Anyway, moving on, here's one just in time for Halloween, kind of an antidote to anyone who thought the new Halloween movie was a little run-of-the-mill as slasher horror goes. It's Suspiria, a tale of evil plaguing a renowned dance company in Berlin during the 1880s before the fall of the Berlin Wall. And if the title is familiar, it's because Suspiria is a remake, in keeping with his skill at fashioning like visually stunning, dreamlike, psychologically disturbing movies. The Oscar-nominated Italian director Luca Guadagnino, the guy who did Call Me by Your Name, he's come through with an almost impressionistic reimagining and an update of the horror classic Suspiria, which was a masterpiece in the canon of Dario Argento, who is his fellow Italiano filmmaker. It's probably going to divide the people who see it. That's okay by me. I'm positively disposed to it. Although it runs a little long at 152 minutes, I still believe that Guadagnino's best movie to date is A Bigger Splash, and interestingly enough, he brings back 2 of his stars from A Bigger Splash, Dakota Johnson, who is considerably better than her movies, the S&M films, 50 Shades of Grey, etc., and Tilda Swinton, and they play the roles of an ambitious young dancer from a repressive Midwestern background and the artistic director of the Berlin troupe who sees something special in the girl. I mean, what could that be? It's got to be something scary. Cast also includes Mia Goth, Chloe Grace Moretz, and Euro leading ladies Sylvie Testudo and Renee Sutenjic, as well as a special appearance from one of the stars of Argento Suspiria. There's sorcery and body horror and limber dancers, and Swinton trying a few interesting things in the acting department. I enjoyed Suspiria. Okay, a better film than Suspiria in my book is Burning, which is an award-winning contemporary drama from South Korean director and co-screenwriter Chang Dong-lee, and it concerns a fateful love triangle that develops between Jung-soo, a young slacker, Heme, a cute girl who he knew when they were kids and he runs into again, and an arrogant, handsome, well-to-do guy named Ben, who presents himself as philanthropic, but also seems to be quite the hedonist with some rather unlikely passions. This is a marvelously twisted mix of mystery and character psychodrama, and yeah, even a bit of horror. The hapless lead actors, played by Korean star Yoo Ah-ine, and Stephen Ewan, Glenn on TV's The Walking Dead, is Ben. Burning starts kind of as a slow burn, but it builds and builds and really catches fire as it moves to a searing conclusion. And Ewan is light years away from his heroic, kind Glenn character. Chillingly convincing here. I highly recommend Burning. Let's wrap things up with one more foreign film that's a freak show, in a way. After that pair of singular and offbeat movies, I've saved The Strangest for last. Border is a very bizarre fantasy with bits of social commentary, romance, and suspense from Sweden and Denmark, with one of the most committed and remarkable performances I've seen in a while. The movie concerns a tragically homely customs officer named Tina, whose sense of smell is so refined she can actually sniff out smugglers coming into the country. And she seems to always be right. I mean, it's freaky, but that's just the tip of the weird as Tina encounters a traveler named Vore during the course of her job and is flummoxed by the guy. In addition to being as odd-looking as she is, he seems to have a deeper connection to her. This sets Tina, who's a lifelong misfit, on a journey of self-awareness and sends the movie on a very compelling and surprising path. Director Ali Abbasi has made a film like few others in memory, but it's Eva Melander as Tina. She's an attractive woman in real life, but unrecognizable in really disturbing and realistic prosthetics. She deserves the highest praise here as she creates a character who's tragic, deep, otherworldly, and yet at the same time all too human. And Eero Milanov as Vore keeps up with her. Nothing boring about Border. It is a threshold worth crossing. What are you watching, pal?
Well, if you are a subscriber to the DC Universe app that's out there, there is a DC Universe original called Titans that I really love. It's really good.
I was going to say, it's really dark stuff about the younger generation of DC heroes pulling together in very dark circumstances, including Robin, who is obviously got a chip on his shoulder.
Well, the best line is in the first episode, and it sets it all up when Robin looks at the screen and goes, "Fuck Batman."
It's a two-word signal that you're getting a little something different from Titans.
Yeah, it's very, very good, and it's dark and it's well written. Akiva Goldsman is involved in it, as is Greg Berlanti, who does all the DC shows over at the CW, and it's really I think exceptional, to be very honest with you. And
for those of you who know about the cartoon version of this group, the Teen Titans, yeah, it's those guys, only like you haven't seen them before.
Right, exactly. Well, I guess that's about it. I have nothing more here, and neither do you. Why don't you tell them where they can find you, Michael?
On Twitter at Culture Blaster and on Facebook at Michael Snyder's Culture Blast page. Check in there. You can listen to our various segments, and hopefully we'll be back next week with more new movies.
And that's it for our movie reviews with the Culture Blast report from Michael Snyder. Stay tuned for more GABNet on our 24/7 channel coming right up.